Hello and welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. Let's see, we were talking to Lily, Misha, and Sune, and
Yep.
now we are going to do something else. Oh, there's more text. She gives me the sweetest smile I've seen all week, turns on her heels to make her exit. As soon as Lily walks out the door, I suddenly start feeling reluctant about turning to face Shizune. I can feel her eyes burning into my back. Can't bring myself to look at her. She must be furious. I keep expecting Misha to say something to alleviate the tension, but it really is wanting too much. In the end, I go back to my seat and listen to the sound of Shizune's footsteps as she marches out of the room. She doesn't return until a few minutes before class. What were they doing here in the first place? They just come in to badger me?
I don't actually know.
Saw people in here and had to come in and ridicule them. Hanako doesn't come to the morning class at all, leaving her seat looking empty and lonely in the back of the classroom. I have to tell her that Lily was looking for her if I see her later. After the events of this morning, the class is pretty boring in comparison. I turn to the pages of my textbook lazily. Boring can be good sometimes
Yes,
when
it's
in
comfortable.
comparison in comparison to some things that could be happening. Like talking to Misha.
Yeah.
Bit of catching up to do, despite I thought there was going to be more to that.
No, just yeah.
I have a bit of catching up to do, despite trying to keep up with my studies at the hospital, but I'm not feeling that enthusiastic about it. The clock at the front of the room sounds unbearably loud. The teacher hasn't said anything in over 7 minutes, instead opting to cover the board in rows and rows of equations taken directly from the book. Where is the teacher? There's no teacher there. And I assume it's the. We only have like the one classroom, right?
I mean, no, there's a lot of classrooms in this school, but you, in particular, are only going to one classroom because you don't have any like
That's
extracurricular activities.
that's what I meant, was that we're in the
Okay.
one classroom. But they don't like to show the teacher or the students very much, it seems like.
No, because this game is low budget.
Yeah. It's free. The rhythmic clashing of chalk on the blackboard seems to synchronize perfectly with the ticking of the clock. I start to copy down the equations just to pass the time, even though they're right there in the textbook. Oh, good. Out of the damn classroom. When the bell rings, I'm not in a hurry because I have nothing to do. So I stay for a while, reviewing what we covered in class today. Prefer to leave last anyway, so I don't have to deal with the crowding hallways. I know Shizune and Misha have also stayed behind talking to someone from out of the class. Shizune is sighing so fast that her hands make noises like swords cutting through the air. Maybe there is pent up anger in there. Misha is trying. I'd like to hear that actually. If it was an anime and they were like somebody furiously sign language using sign language, and then they're
Oh,
just
okay.
like the sword noises. That would be kind of funny.
That would be.
Misha is trying desperately to keep up, but it's clear she can barely manage to even understand her. Put my head down. Whatever they're discussing, it looks like serious business. Shizune signs to the point where her wrists crackle, and Misha struggles to spit out in a word form. In word form. Sometimes she trips over herself like she's dealing with tongue twisters, and then on top of that, she has to sign back anything the other girl says. Seems like a rough job. Misha looks tired, like she's about to faint. Lucky for her, her business is soon finished, and the girls sit down on their seats again.
I'm so tired.
I actually kind of feel sorry for her. She's hanging her head limply on her desk, looking exhausted. I'll use the opportunity to reconcile with Shizune a bit, without getting roped into the student council thing again, but I suspect that door is not closed for me. I hope so. Can't get out of this classroom, Joe.
I would just want to leave this classroom.
Festival preparations must be tough for you. Indeed, the people in this school seem to be taking the festival very seriously. Whenever I see people idling around before and after classes, they're always talking about their plans for it. It's kind of neat to see everyone being so enthusiastic about it. Neat. I'm probably the only one who doesn't have something to do. Shizune scoffs at me first, as if trying to decide whether to ignore or sneer at me, but in the end she starts sighing without doing either. Misha perks up, looking at her hands slightly unfocused eyes. With her hands... Looking at her hands with slightly unfocused eyes. Okay, I got it. She signs with harsh, heavy, dramatic strokes. Misha translates her signing into speech for me. She does it so well, it's almost like Shizune is actually speaking, transmitting her thoughts directly through Misha. She must have practiced it vigorously.
Well, of course, we're in the student council, so we're pretty busy. It's an important duty of ours to ensure the success of the festival with all of our strength. We would shame ourselves in front of the past student council generations if the festival were to fail. That's why there must be no flaws. No, I think that was encumbrances? No, nothing that might make the festival short of perfect.
Shizune's passionate speak and Misha's enacting are really oddly fitting them.
Oh, hello!
A new person to talk to.
I mean, we've talked to them before.
Well, I just mean like not Misha and Shizune.
Anyone else other than these two?
I like desperately wanting somebody to come in and like talk to me, break up the conversation, and be like, "Oh, I have to go." I look over my shoulder and see Hanako peering timidly into the classroom, most of her body hidden behind the door. No, go away! You were gone for a second.
Hey, playing delinquent again?
Wish that the camera would move more to the right again. And like,
No, go away.
Like Misha would just like kind of like slip off to the side again. Hanako blushes hard at Misha's straightforward jab, even if it was only in jest. Oh, another one comes. Oh, and now she's disappearing. Shizune stares at her probingly, causing Hanako to look down and start backing away to the point where only her fingers can be seen wrapped nervously around the edge of the door. Maybe she is showing her dislike of Hanako by association of her dislike of Lily. It appears so. Oh, I see. Okay. I didn't get it at first. It appears so, and Hanako probably knows it as well. What is it, Hanako?
Has Lily been here? Sorry, haven't seen Satao. She came by in the morning, though.
Hanako keeps looking uneasily at Shizune, who stares back at her with her usual studying gaze. What is she trying to do? Of course, Shizune isn't going to look away, and she is intimidating enough as it is, so I can only imagine how terrified Hanako would be. It's a little uncomfortable watching Hanako's reaction to Shizune's normal behavior. This is what happens when two people of two different extremes meet, it seems.
Do you know where she is? If she has any sense in her head, she's in her classroom working on their festival project. Who knows where that woman is loitering at?
Oh, they're gone again. You need to find her? She was looking for you in the morning, but I guess you have missed each other. She waits a little without answering the simple question, looking awfully like she's not sure if it's proper to answer such a question.
Yeah.
I can come with you, if it's okay. Hanako nods fractionally, still on guard. Her shoulders stiff like wood. I get the feeling that she might be more comfortable by herself after all. But it's too late to back off now. She has this really troubling expression she seems to wear almost constantly, one that makes me constantly be on guard for myself. I wonder why. I kind of understand why she always seems to be so wary, or maybe more like why could be a person like her. But I still have no idea how I should act around such a person. It's dinner time soon. Were you planning to eat with Lily? She nods slightly. So she must have been trying to get into the cafeteria. But there's something of a dinner crowd, just like the cafeteria is crowding during the lunch. You've played this before, like a few times, right?
Sometimes, yeah.
I'm guessing you haven't gone down every path.
No, I have not gone down Shizune's path and someone else's. What's up?
Hanako?
I went down Hanako's.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I had a question, but maybe I shouldn't ask it.
I won't answer it, no matter what you say. But you should ask it just for the sake of, the video. Because then people are going to get curious and be like, "What was your question?"
Well, I imagine that maybe it's a dumb question, but I imagine that going down Hanako's path, she kind of opens up more, and I mean, she's very shy, obviously, so I keep seeing these paths to different characters and I'm getting kind of intrigued as to where they might go, you know?
Yeah.
So I guess it's not really a question, but I'd be interested to see Hanako open up more. Maybe she becomes more talkative, less shy.
Right.
Just a thought. Well, there's something of a dinner crowd, just like the cafeteria is crowding during lunch. It's not as bad because dinner time is longer than lunch hour. I can understand why Hanako could be discouraged from going in. Pick up my bag and we take our leave. Hanako skips a little to meet my initial pace, so I slow down to match her speed. It doesn't take long for us to be walking at a comfortable pace down the hallway. Almost feels like we're going for a stroll together, something that, she looks kind of confident there. Something that I can't say I've really done before with a girl. Ako doesn't seem to be thinking the same thing, though. Even though we are walking at the same pace, she never comes within arm's reach of me. I guess she's still a little uncomfortable around me, given how shy she is. There doesn't seem to be much helping it, at least for now. I'd like to see her talking with Lily, like normally without anyone else around to observe.
Yeah.
Just to observe like how because she obviously feels more comfortable with Lily. I'd just like to see more of her, I guess.
Yeah, that was my first impression too. That's why I went down Hanaka's route.
But it makes me curious. A lot of the characters make me curious, except for Misha.
I think honestly the only route that I haven't seen is Rin's. Now that I'm thinking about it,
She's curious. She makes me curious too.
She makes me curious too, but I think the first time I played this, when I was a little bit younger, I was just kind of like, she was kind of weird and rude, so I'm not going to go down her route. I think that was pretty much my first reaction to her. And Shizune and Misha, Shizune is just too stuck up and like too all about the rules, and I was just like, oh god, this is gonna be annoying. No.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess I'm not uninterested in Shizune though. Because maybe she changes a little bit, along the way.
Right. It's a question of how they write the story. Are they going to change your character? And is he going to have a character development, or is someone else going to change and have a character development?
Yeah. Seems like a lot of these characters would be, well, maybe not a lot of them, but it seems like there should be some changes that go along the way.
I would assume so.
Anyways, back to the story.
Yeah.
By the time we arrive at the cafeteria, there's not much of a crowd there, but Lily is nowhere to be seen. Doesn't she eat in, like, the same room every day or something?
I think so, yeah. There's that, like, unmarked classroom.
Hanako's head sinks even lower than usual. Have you looked somewhere else today already?
Just at the library. I was reading.
She does spend the classes she skips at the library. So not exactly a thorough search then. Well, if I had to guess, she'd be in her own class, like Shizune said, right?
Right.
With the slightest of nods, Hanako agrees with my reasoning. God, she's being so awkward. It's like I need double-layered silk gloves with padding to even begin interacting with her. Some small talk might help her become a bit more used to me. It isn't hard to tell that the silence between us is hovering over the edge of both of our minds. So you and Lily usually hang out together after class, right?
Yes.
Not quite sure what I expected from her answer, nor why I even asked the question. That much was rather obvious after all. She doesn't seem like the type to cultivate a social circle either, so I suspect that Lily may be her only friend. Must be a pain being in different classes, I'm guessing. She gives a sharp, almost reflexive nod compared to Lily's careful thought about her actions and speech. Hanako hastens to make her answers as prompt and short as possible.
Lily comes by the classroom, though, even when she's busy.
Gives a small smile as she says it, evidently appreciating the fact that Lily goes out of her way to help her. Oh, she is smiling. Okay. It's pretty cute, really. There isn't any need to say more. Both of us content that the discussions reached an end. As we ascend the stairs back to the lobby, we are met by a group of students heading downstairs like a school of fish moving from one feeding area to another. They seem to be keeping mostly to themselves, but before I can notice her doing so, Hanako has moved around behind me. Hey, are you alright?
Just keep going.
The students pass us without much of a second glance, and Hanako takes a position to my side again as we enter the building, her momentary reprieve from her anxiety all but snatched away. Even as we climb towards the third floor, she doesn't seem to relax. It isn't as if I've ever known a shy person before, or even shy girls, but Hanako seems to be pretty far beyond what I'd call normal in her fear of other people. If it weren't for Lily acting as a mediator, I doubt Hanako would even been able to walk beside me like this. She seems to completely shut down in the presence of others. The rest of the walk up to Lily's classroom continues in strained silence, while I rue her inability to socialize at all. After we make our way up the stairs, a noise coming from Lily's classroom is audible from halfway down the hallway. I wasn't expecting such a din at all. Well, I guess we found her. I think I'll stop there.
Sounds good.
What do you think? Okay. That's it for this set of videos. These 2 videos that we're doing 2 a week. So we'll be off for a week and we'll be back. I don't know when. The problem is I don't know what. Yeah, I do them on the weekends, but I don't get them out on the weekends. So
Okay.
so it's really like I try to get them out on Saturday and Monday. So
Okay.
I'll say next. I'll say next. I mean Sunday and Monday. I try to get them out next Sunday and Monday. Okay. We'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.